I'm so
Alright, that was the first 75 feet of the trail. And now I will mount and I will catch up because it's almost 7 o'clock and we've got 85 kilometers till the first potential tenting site or campground.
So after a rather late start out of St. John's, we moved up towards the beginning of the off-road section of the trail, which was the CNR rail line, which goes all the way up through the middle of Newfoundland. We got there around 7:30 at night, and we had the first leg of that section. The campsite that we had picked out was about 85 kilometers. Now, we had been doing so much road riding that I guess we kind of didn't really consider the fact that 85 kilometers was a big deal when it comes to off-road riding. But I guess we were expecting something of a smooth gravel road or something like that. But what we ended up with was something that was a little bit more challenging than that and a little bit slower. So we were running into a little bit of time trouble pretty soon in the ride here. So after probably about 60 or so kilometers of getting pounded on that section of rail trail, we decided to take a little detour off to the town of Dildo. When we reached Dildo, it was actually not raining for for a slight. Actually, that day I can't complain too much. We had a pretty dry day, so that wasn't so bad. But later on that night, the rain came back, and it came with a vengeance. So we were teased into taking a campsite that night, and actually, I believe all the hotels were booked. Now, this is something that would plague us for the entire trip, really, was the fact that we couldn't even find hotels in half these towns. So they would be all booked up by if it was work crews or whatever it was always some excuse that we couldn't get a hotel room in these places. So Dildo was one of them. We got denied accommodation, and virtually with everything. We called everywhere. We couldn't get accommodation. So luckily it wasn't raining when we set up the tents, but soon after we set up and went to sleep, it started to pour, and it thundered and lightning, and it got pretty gnarly. So much so that the ground started to liquefy a little bit, and my bike decided it was just the kickstand was gonna slide right into the liquefied dirt and fall over in the middle of the night, which was a bit of an issue since it started leaking gas all over the place. And We had to run out in the pouring rain, and luckily Dan got to it, and he righted the bike again. So wow, what a night though that was.
What? My bike fell over? So my bike just fell over. Thanks, man, for picking it up. I don't know why he was resting outside, but my goodness. The storm does not seem to be letting up at all. Everything's wet. Except me. Thank goodness. That's going to change, for sure. It'll be an interesting day for today. It's 6 in the morning, so. It's just relentless. This lightning is flashing, thunder. I could smell gas because my bike freaking fell over and gas leaked out of the freaking past the float bowl down one of the tubes, I guess. I hope I didn't lose too much. Oh man. Crazy. Hope I didn't break up my helmet either, because that was about a handlebar when it fell over.
That night, the rain let up around probably 4 or 5 in the morning, and we slept in till about 8 o'clock. After which we woke up, and everything was actually kind of dry after that, so we were able to put everything away, and it wasn't completely disgusting and soaking wet, so that was a bonus for us. Later on that day, we started moving on off the trail again, and then making our way to a little town called Greenspond, which turned out to be a beautiful little spot and a place for us to take a little bit of a rest.
Refugees. Stay away from the one of our bandits here. For now. There's Daddy, Fisherman's Brewis with molasses. Simply better without molasses. Look all house. It's actually quite good alone, but starting to pretty salty. Enjoy all the molasses. Got molasses and beans.
So after another hard day of riding in the rain and hiding in restaurants and whatnot and eating ridiculous amounts of food to keep warm, we made our way up to Greenspond, and we started to figure out that the water in Newfoundland is has a little bit of a tincture to it, and we realized as soon as you poured a bath that yeah, it was quite evident.
Well, here I am in Greenspond, and it's so quiet here. You can hear the neighbors talking from across town, basically. It's a beautiful spot. We came here to check out the icebergs, which have not materialized, actually. Unfortunately, I guess a lady from the hotel here said there was one 2 days ago out in the inlet here. And I guess the wind blew it out the other way or something. But and the fog's coming in. Fog was lifted this morning, but we didn't could see way out there, but no icebergs. So I'm a little bit disappointed, but we've got a few more chances as we go north towards Labrador. We'll check out a couple more towns on the coast here, and hopefully we'll get to see some icebergs. In fact, well, I'll say for myself anyway, I want to see some icebergs, get some good pics. So kind of wanted to talk about the situation here with us. We're exhausted every single day. The weather, my boots are completely, I don't even know if they're salvageable anymore. I've been wearing my camp shoes every day because they just get wet, and then they dry out when I'm riding, and it doesn't really matter if they do. I bought them for $30 over at Wally World or someplace. So, and they've been proving to be pretty good. But my big boots that I paid over $300 for are pretty much completely toast because they've just haven't dried out in the last 6 or 7 days, and they're pretty disgusting. And I'm not even putting them on. I haven't put them on in 6 days. And as far as health-wise, we're just completely exhausted every day, and it just seems to be. Dan got sick at first, and then he ended up getting me sick, so he's getting over it, and I'm just in day 2 of being sick. And then yesterday, with a sore throat, scratchiness, and everything else, we ended up shivering through the entire day yesterday through rainstorms, and the temperatures dropped a lot since we were in Nova Scotia, where it was actually pretty warm when it was raining, but here it's actually freezing cold and raining at the same time. So yeah, we ended up bucking out for this hotel, which has been pretty much the status quo for a lot of the trip now, where our hotel fees are way higher than we thought they'd be, but just it's basically a matter of survival, just having a place to dry out every night. And we've done some tenting, but every night we're tenting, it's just pissing rain, and like that last one lightning storm, and all the tent equipment, everything else is soaking wet, and we got to pack it away wet. So got to be able to try and dry that out. Maybe tonight we'll have another opportunity. I don't know. We got to get over to Labrador. I think the forecast there is for drier weather, so hopefully we can actually dry out our stuff and maybe find some warm weather. That would be really nice. But yeah, right now, I mean, I guess the bonus part is that yeah, we are spending money on hotels, but we're finding some beautiful spots, and we're not wasting that money on crappy little motels. We're actually finding some really nice spots to stay. So anyway, that's a little update on that situation, and kind of the struggle that this trip is. I mean, most motorcycle trips are, you're against the elements and stuff like that, and that's what makes them great. But in this case, we are definitely getting our asses whooped by the weather. It is a struggle. So not only is I think we've drank about 3 cans of beer, maybe, which this whole trip so far. Basically, we at the end of every day of riding, we just crash, whether it's setting up the tents and crashing or hotel. Basically, just get in the door, and have a shower, flop into bed, and out cold. So it's yeah, it hasn't been the greatest trip for leisure, to say the least. I mean, we're just out here just making miles, and and it's getting the better of our health and everything else. But yesterday was a pretty low day. In the morning, I managed to salvage that, and every time it seems to be by the time you get warm and get moving, the situation gets better mentally. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's not all roses on this trip, but mechanically we've been pretty good. I had some electrical issues yesterday, which I was able to sort out. Thank goodness it was something really easy to sort out, but you never know when your electrics go down and bike stops, and it could be a lot of different things. Could be really expensive, could be part problems, could be, it could be all kinds of things. But luckily it was just a ground wire that I was able to find easily enough, and away she went. So thank goodness for that. Otherwise, I've got some issues with my rear sprocket, which I couldn't replace before we left because parts availability, and the whole same. I've got to blame Putin for that one, and so I'm just kind of nursing that with oiling it constantly every morning, which you should do anyway. But I'm definitely not skipping that, so I'm trying to keep that kind of going. And but we are so early in this trip right now. We have thousands and thousands of kilometers to go. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think there's going to be some challenges there ahead. I hope I can overcome them somehow. Maybe we'll get lucky and find a shop somewhere in the backcountry that's got these parts. Anyway, that'll be. Here comes the man of the hour here.
Still vlogging.
Still vlogging. Yep. Anyway, so yeah, that'll be it. Maybe another vlog tomorrow.
I'm so